What's going on, gentlemen? I would say ladies and gentlemen, but I know that 99.89% of my audience is dudes, so I guess what's up to the 5 ladies out there that are watching this? Y'all are the real heroes of the bunch. Welcome back to another Sketch Fest. Totally kidding. This is CBR number 2, Carson. So if you guys are familiar with this series, there's CBR Dominguez Hills, that's California bicycle racing, and there's CBR Carson, and they're basically in the same location, just kind of across the street from each other. Once again, a 4-corner crit. The really only defining feature of this particular course, once again, wide open, like 4 lanes wide. The only defining feature is a little hill that is pretty nasty. I don't really know what it kicks up to, but it's a few percent. And that hill is right before the start-finish straight. So realistically, it just kind of makes things a little hectic. Also, it pinches the corner down right here, so all these cones are on the left. And that sort of just pushes the whole Peloton into this, 2.5 lanes of the road. At CBR, a lot of people have trouble navigating that because we're used to 7 or 8 lanes. We've got freeways out here in SoCal that we race on, so, that's the business. Yeah, Cat 2-3, people still not sure how to corner. That's nothing new. I don't get it, since half this field also races the Pro 1 through 3 field, and we see no problems there. I don't understand why we don't just move a little wider, flatten the corner out, and pedal through. Efficiency, folks. Anyway, yeah, there was a lot of dicey, weird stuff going on. A lot of, moving, shaking, bumping, but we survived. No crashes that I was aware of, and that is honestly been kind of refreshing this year. So far, things have been good, so everybody's keeping the rubber side down, and I really do appreciate that. Even with a little bit of, sketchy business going on, people are handling their bikes all right. So we did all right today. We're getting back to fitness now. Had a couple more weeks since the last one. As you guys saw, I absolutely exploded in the last one. Had nothing at all at the finish. Today's a little bit different. Things kind of get a little more, dicey at the end, and I just make a couple critical errors that might have put me out of contention, but nonetheless, let's check out some of the sketchy bits real quick. I'll play you guys a nice little B-roll action here. Roll it. Nah, guys, for real. I'm mostly joking. That stuff is just bike racing. Stuff gets a little dicey from time to time, and a lot of that stuff was taking place just the last couple laps, so, it does happen when people are jockeying for position, getting a little wild. But nonetheless, I've noticed that things are a little bit more chaotic in the bunch than they usually feel. I think it's just early season stuff, so I've tried to make it a point myself to stay at the pointy end of the race, and that's kind of what I did for majority of this day. So a lot of my riding today was sitting somewhere about in the position I'm in. Obviously, you do get filtered from time to time and pushed towards the back, but for the most part, this is where I was finding the best efficiency. And if I lost a little bit of position here and there, I would get filtered back to maybe 20th, but there was plenty of opportunity to move up. People were interested in moving up. I just kind of kept it on the gas when I would find opportunities like that, and then find the wheel and cover it. So I wasn't looking to be in any moves today. I was kind of just sitting in, but obviously there's a chase happening here, and I'm not just going to let the wheels go. I also don't want to get filtered all the way to the back and get super strung out when we're about to hit this hill. This hill also causes a major speed differential when somebody sits up at the front, so if we're coming into that, it's good to just keep the speed high and hammer a little bit. Otherwise, it's making it really dangerous for everybody behind. I was almost a victim of that myself, coming with a lot of momentum out of the corner, taking it a little bit faster than the rest of the peloton. You just have to be, on your guard, I guess. But yeah, nonetheless, stayed at the pointy end for most of the race. Maybe I spent a little more energy than I should have, but you know, I felt pretty efficient overall. The power didn't feel like I was redlining or anything like that. My heart rate 170. That's kind of my normal threshold, so nothing to write home about here, folks. What I do want to jump into though and talk about a little bit more is the end of this race. Talk about a couple things that kind of happened and how things shook out. Alrighty, so jumping ahead here, this is about 6 or 7 laps to go, and Julian, my teammate, who's a couple wheels in front of me, you guys have seen him before, he's kind of on lead out duty today. I have been riding the pointy end for most of the race and have been able to really kind of keep an eye on what's happening and see attacks going. What I did not see is there are 2 riders that are sneaking up the road right now on the very far left. They're way up in the distance and they're going through the corner right now. And I'm back here drinking bottles and hanging out like a dork. So, you know, it was just a matter of timing. I got filtered back at, I guess, what turns out to be a bad time because, spoiler alert, these 2 riders stay away, and I did not realize that they were both up the road. So shout out to Darren and Jonas. Those dudes rode like absolute animals to stay away from the group with, like, you know, 6 or 7 laps to go. And as you guys can see, like, they're getting a pretty good gap already. They're way up the road. They're almost a straightaway away. They're just really tiny little micro dots at this point. But yeah, hard to see that from where I'm at. Like I said before, guys, the GoPro gives you like an extra vantage point. From where I'm at, like sitting a little bit lower here, you can't really see what's going on. There's a little bit of a chase, but nothing too organized. It's kind of some groups of like 1, 2, and 3 that are trying to get up the road and catch them, but nothing organized is happening here. So that's just not really going to work out when you have probably like the strongest riders in the group up the road. So those dudes are big flat power dudes, and you know, they're showing it today. So shout out to them. I guess what we can do is dive into the field sprint, since slot 1 and 2 are already locked up. We do not catch them. I don't know how much gap they had at the end of the race, but yeah, they stayed away. So unfortunate, but we are still racing for that last spot on the podium. Let's check out how that part of the race unfolds, and we'll see who lands on that box. All right, so we're only jumping ahead half a straightaway here, but we're coming into one to go. Julian is in front of me. I'm pushing just to basically maintain position here, hold his wheel. I'm squeezing my way up there. I actually like where we're at with 1 to go here. We're like 1, 2, 3 guys in front of Julian. Then we got the Velosport riders who are also trying to set up their train on the right here. And, you know, as a duo, kind of weird, but this is where things get funky. All right, so right here, you can see that this rider is coming backwards extremely fast. He just pulled off the front, and I had to make a decision to go left or right there. Julian went left, but then this opens the opportunity for the big orange guys. There's 3 of them. The guy that almost just lost his rear wheel right there. They come pushing up to take over where Julian's at. Now, this gap looks really easy to shoot, and like I can just pedal up there no problem and be on Julian's wheel, but it's a lot tighter than it looks. And that was like 2.5 bike lengths to get up there. So the big orange train folks are coming around on the left side here, but then it kind of loses steam. And that rider comes over in front of me, and we're kind of going backwards. He's not maintaining Julian's wheel, and he's like 2 or 3 bike lengths behind him. So you can see the squeeze happens there, and I just get filtered. So let's just like run this back and watch that again. Pay attention to those things. Okay, so we're coming up on the lava rider who's getting filtered backwards after just pulling out the front, and I go right, Julian goes left. The big orange guys follow Julian left. That allows them to basically take that over. I should be up here, glued to Julian's wheel, but I am not, and this is where things go wrong for me. I am not being aggressive enough. I didn't slot myself into this tiny little gap that it looks like on the GoPro, obviously. I should have just pedaled harder here. I mean, I was doing 300 watts, but I should have been more assertive in the corner, made a minor mistake, let these big orange dudes come around, and then that basically, once he loses his own rider's wheel, because Julian pushes out, he kind of comes over and that squeezes me, and then Jack is in front of me. I should have also pushed there and gotten a hold of his wheel. I'd have been back up with Julian, who is entering the corner right about now. So Julian just entered the corner third, and the two riders in front of him start sprinting. I am sprinting just straight into the headwind. The headwind in the start-finish straight was like right at us, and I'm just blasting myself into it like a moron. But the real point here is that Julian gets third place in a bike throw, picks up the field sprint for the last spot on the podium. Sucks that he didn't get the actual win, but basically the idea here and what we had talked about pre-race was like, dude, just send it for the line, go for it. If I can hold your wheel like I'm supposed to, then I'll come around. If not, worst case scenario, you know, finish strong and see what's up. So the man finished great. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I look forward to seeing y'all again in the next video. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and smash that like button and check out the last couple races that we did to kick off the season. Later.